You don't know, you damn well should know. My name is Rag Reynolds. I bring this up because I had an interview for a TV show the other day, and one of the questions the woman asked me when we were doing the interview was, what was my opinion on cyberbullying? And I responded, not real. And then I gave her a little brief rundown of it. And I do believe that you can emotionally hurt a person via the internet. I do believe that you can actually legitimately hurt a person via the internet. I believe that bullying is alive and well and it's real. However, I think that the use of the term cyberbullying is an insult to victims of legitimate bullying. You see, people talk about cyberbullying all the time. They say, cyberbullying is a real issue and we need to tackle it. Okay, but what do you mean by that? That's my question right away. What do you mean by cyberbullying is a problem? Because there's a couple of aspects to it. I mean, the most notable aspect would be, okay, you think cyberbullying is when someone is being harassed on the internet, they're being abused. No, that's not cyberbullying. Because if someone says something to you online, you can just block them. If you can't block them for whatever reason, you can stop using that website, you can stop interacting with them. If that's not an option, you can walk away from the computer. There is always an escape from cyberbullying, which to me means it's not really bullying. When I think of bullying, I think of, for example, a school where a kid is going in every day and is being either physically or verbally abused every day. And they have no escape. The only escape would be to move school, and that's not always practical. It's not practical to just move school. Maybe you have to move state, maybe you have to move city, maybe you have to move where you live. It's not always practical. And it also requires maybe that child or whoever coming out to their parents and admitting what's happening. So I don't think it's fair to compare actual physical IRL bullying to stuff on the internet ever. And immediately I think it's wrong to compare those things, and I think the term cyberbullying is an insult. However, I hear often, what about when cyberbullying inflicts the real life? So for example, say you're a child at school and you're being bullied at school, and then suddenly you go home and suddenly people are harassing you on Facebook. Oh my god, they're being No, that's not cyberbullying. It's just bullying. My point is, the reason that this Facebook bullying is such an issue is because of the in real life consequences. If other people that weren't from that child's school and they had no idea, they were on the other side of the world, they had no idea who they were. If those people were to send them messages on Facebook, or were to talk about a person, slander them, share about an image, it becomes so much easier to deal with it. You block them, and that's the end of it, because you never hear from them again. You didn't have to face them in real life. The problem is when it's someone in real life who, for example, is sharing horrible pictures of you on Facebook, or who is saying bad things about you or directly harassing you. Because the problem here is, if you block them, you still have to go to school the next day, you still have to go to work the next day, you still have to go out into the world the next day and potentially face that person, or face the people that they've interacted with or that have spread bad things about you too. So I don't think it's cyberbullying, I think it's just bullying because it's impacting your real life. If it was people you didn't know, the solution is easy because you just block them and it's done. You never hear from them again. So I think it's also wrong to call that cyberbullying because it's not really an issue. Okay, someone's being mean to me on the internet, someone's, at most you could say, harassing you a little bit, but you just block it and it's over with, you never hear from them again. But to say they're bullying you, I think it's an insult to people who are actually being bullied in person. And I think that cyberbullying is not the correct term for the other example I described, where it's someone from school or work and they're talking about you online and you have to face them in the real world. I don't think that's cyberbullying. I'd say it's bullying with the internet being used as an extra tool to help that along. For cyberbullying to be a legitimate thing, it would have to be something where you are entirely online, the consequences are online, and offline has nothing to do with it. If you get what I'm saying. I think that cyberbullying could be a thing in the future. It could. I think as life progresses, I think as technology progresses, and we get to a stage where maybe people are spending 99% of their lives online, what if we end up in virtual reality type worlds, living our lives? I know it's a bit far out there, but it's something that is certainly a possibility, and I think then, yes, it would be cyberbullying, as you would call it. But again, why are we calling it cyberbullying? At that point, it would just be the exact same as normal bullying, so I guess you can call it cyberbullying then. But as it is right now, you can turn off the computer, you can walk away, you can close the phone screen. You don't have to put up with it. You can block people, use different websites, go by a different name online. I think a lot of these problems come down to people being stupid with online safety. I will not get into that in this video, but I have a lot of issues with the way children are being taught these days in schools. I know how I was taught in school when it comes to internet safety. The schools don't know what they're talking about, and if the schools don't know what they're talking about, the parents don't know what they're talking about, then how are the kids ever going to know what they're talking about? How are they going to teach the kids what's right and what's wrong? Again, I'm not going to get into that now. I'll get into it maybe another video another time, because this video is about specifically the whole cyberbullying issue. I acknowledge that people can be upset from things they receive online. Example, I receive hundreds of comments, tweets, direct messages every day of people trying to harass me and be mean to me, death threats and all. I don't claim that I'm being cyberbullied. I will say, yes, these people are not being very nice to me, these people are maybe harassing me if they're doing it over and over again, but I would never claim I'm being bullied, because I'm not. I can easily block any of these people. I choose not to, because I personally don't believe in blocking. And again, that's not for this video, that's another time, but I don't block these people. But I could, if I didn't want to do that, I could stop using that website, or I could just turn off my phone, I could turn off my computer. I don't have to put up with it. It's different if there's people in my street who are walking up and chapping on my door and shouting abuse at me, drawing pictures on my windows, calling me names. That's different. Online, I can escape from it. And that's why I think it's wrong to compare cyberbullying and real bullying, and I hate the term cyberbullying. Because I think it's an insult. Because cyberbullying, if it's real, you can easily walk away from it. Whereas actual bullying in real life, you can't just walk away from it. And it really gripes me, it really annoys me when people try and conflate these things. As I said, I get numerous messages every single day telling me that I'm a horrible... I don't care. Maybe I'm just thick-skinned, maybe I'm just desensitized. But the point is, if I could easily claim I am a very bullied person on the internet, I'm a cyber-bullied individual. But I don't, and so I know what I'm talking about, because I get it more than most people. More than most people. Especially more than random people who don't even make content online. I mean, the vast majority of people, they don't put themselves really out there. Most they have a personal Facebook, a personal Instagram, whatever. And it's maybe just friends or people that don't like them that are coming on there and seeing that and making fun of them. I've got people from all over the world, and I'm a very small YouTuber. So, I think it's wrong to conflate cyberbullying and bullying. If you'd like to know more about my thoughts on this subject, I do have a full chapter about this in my book, Medium Rare, A Guide to Fine Dining and Perfect Timing. so you can read it there if you are interested. And if you have any specific questions about anything I've said in the video, then please leave them as a question down below in those comments, and I will do my best to get back to you. And until next time, you are all welcome, society.
Rag Reynolds, Rag Reynolds.